this and you've been listening for 5 minutes wondering why there was no sound whatsoever, it's because I forgot to plug in the microphone. So let me maybe start over from what I was talking about. Fuck me. I can't believe I just forgot to do that. I'm tired. Well, the first thing I said was, yes, this is probably going to surprise you, but I'm pretty tired. Just pretty tired. Yeah. So, well, fuck. 5 minutes ago. What all have I talked about in 5 minutes? Okay, so whole lot of stuff. I did way too much yesterday. I moved way too much stuff, and I have overexerted my foot. It is now feeling a little bit like shit. Quite swollen. I got a fat foot now. Like they just look swollen. Big old plump foot, like club foot. You could just smack someone with it. It's not like that at all. So all the things that I was saying, fuck me. I showed some filament that's pink. You have no context. I'm trying to go back and watch the first 5 minutes of this now with no sound. I'm just like, what the fuck would I even like? Yeah, how would you know what I was talking about? I just had no sound. So yeah, I showed that pink. That and gold are the only two colors that I have left outside of gray. I've been trying to go through the colors that I picked up to. I was thinking, hey, I'll print things that I won't paint. Yeah, no, I won't. If I do, they're going to be very specific colors. They're not going to be like that red. And the only reason I had the red is because there definitely was at one point in time when I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to be using that for, some RedWetSkeleton kind of like logos kind of stuff. Because you can definitely print out some pretty sexy templates and whatnot, especially for like, the first thing that comes to mind is like Titanicus. Titanicus had really dope like cards to play on. I really like that kind of stuff. I love game aids. So like anything that like blends that is my jam. So what I was trying to show with this camera was yesterday I cleaned off my staging area. So this is where when I'm printing something with Greeblin prints right here. Hi Greeblin. Hi Greeblin. Greeblin gets done printing. I come over here and I say, oh my goodness, Greeblin, you did such a good job. And right now, Greeblin's message for me this morning was 999 hours in. Let's do it. So I said, okay, that's great. Wait a minute. Yeah, you can't see my face. What if I just did the stream like this? So anyhow, and that'd be weird. I scuffed part of the lens, not the lens, but the outline, the frame. Man, this is a weird way to stream. I'm not gonna do that anymore. But that'd be a fun thing. So, pretty much everything once I get done printing comes out. I rip off all the supports, put them in that bag. Now, this is a lot of supports. And you could be thinking, wow, Eli, that seems kind of stupid. Why are you okay with throwing away that much, supports? And it's just like, well, I'm not really throwing them away. I really, really actually like how Greeblin makes supports. Because Greeblin makes trees, which, not that they look like really live trees, but I mean, well, shit. I mean, I've got trees all over the place. I got trees all over the place. So yeah, these are roots. These are roots. These are trees. Essentially, it makes these really organic shapes, and it does that to howdy. It does that to try and use the least amount of filament possible to continue supporting. the print, but yeah, I don't know. I really much I'm a fan of the tree supports that the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon does. And I'm guessing it would be pretty much any of the Bamboo Labs if you've got the tree support set up to where they are automatically printing. I'm a fan of them, and I think that they will be very good for, I said roots. Spoiler alert. I think roots, I think trees, anything like that, I think they would be very good for. So the other thing that I was going to say, and what I was showing was this, yeah, a tour of my messy fucking basement. So this is my staging area. Once something is done printing, it goes onto this. There was another filing cabinet right there, but now it's way over there. That is my filing cabinet that now has all of Grimdale. And there's a bunch of games and shit next to it. The brooding chair, my Gundam cases. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So basement's still a mess. That is going to be our filming area for any kind of games, any kind of podcast, any kind of, if I'm not in the shop, you're probably going to see me over there. That is, and the reason for that, there's a couple different reasons. So I'm not going to dig them out. You all seen them before, but the Elgato, the wall mounts, the ceiling mounts, I bought 6 of those. So 3 of them are over here. 3 of them are over here. That way, these lights, and the lights are not dialed in. None of this is dialed in. So everything that you're seeing, everything that you've seen is still in the half-assed stage, which I am sorry. I'm going to dial it in. I have to get to a certain point before I can dial things in, though. And once I do, then I think you all will be able to truly see what I'm trying to do here. Not trying to do, what I am doing here. The key thing is I need at least one board. I started working on this yesterday. So whole bunch list of just the games that I plan on playing, games that I plan on covering here, as well as the tables and I was going to say supplies. Man, it just feels so quiet without Griebelin going. But at the same time, I don't really want to fire Griebelin up. We've got 40 minutes. I don't want to make you all listen to Griebelin auto bed level, because Griebelin auto bed leveling is a very interesting. I mean, it sounds like Griebelin is trying to take off and launch into the stratosphere, and I like that. I don't want that to happen for numerous reasons. One, if Griebelin did, so if Griebelin became sentient and launched itself into the stratosphere right now, it would destroy at least part of my HVAC return system, my return duct, and then it would probably smash my front door, because it's right there. Yeah, the front of my house would be irrevocably fucked if Griebelin just decided to launch itself into the stratosphere. I'm glad that it doesn't have that ability. So yeah, yesterday I was pretty much trying to clean out the space around me, because I absolutely have a tendency to work in the filth until I can't do any more. So I will build and just kind of shove the stuff off to the side, and I'll keep building and building, because I'm man, I've got to make my deadline. I've got to make my deadlines. So while trying to plan things that have as many moving parts as they do Eric Legui, it might take out Starlink or the new Chinese AI space satellites. It could. Who's to say? Who's to say? Good morning, Eric. Wonderful to have you. I gotta tell you, I would be very proud. I would be so proud if my child Griebelin went on to destroy Starlink or the new, or whatever Skynet whatever new, person who wants to kill the planet, whatever their new thing they're putting in space. I would be very proud if Greeblen took out part of that. I would be really upset if Greeblen collided with and then merged consciousness with and then became like a space god. Like, I would be really disappointed in that. To some extent. I mean, I know who I am. I know who I am, and I know who the kind of children that I can spawn. And yeah, if Greeblen launched itself into space, merged with Skynet, and became our cold, unfeeling robot overlord, I would be proud. I'd be like, that was my child. That little Greeblen grew up in my basement. Ah, the whips. Greeblen, please. That's exactly how that situation plays out in my mind. So I've shown you that. I'm not going to show you the spooky forest. I also have dismantled most of the spooky forest, and by dismantled I mean like I moved it to where it's not as condensed. I often wonder, because I know this camera is really fucking good. I often wonder if you guys can see the single individual cat hairs that like fly off every now and then. I'm like, can I see that? I don't know if they can or not. But I absolutely had given that I have 3 cats, also given that I don't give a single shit if you know that I have cats. I love cats. I don't mind if I got cat hair on me. That's a you problem. I definitely saw that one. That was actually a fuzzy. Man, I was talking about cat hair and being covered in cat hair. Oh, it was during at my previous job. Once talking to my director while he was angry about something, and I'm listening to him. I'm just like, I'm listening, but it's just like I'm also catching cat hair that is flying off of me in his office. And he's not the kind of person. He was not the kind of person that would find that funny. I think, if anything, it was Tim, Eric. If anything, I think he probably was just like, I can't say anything because there's definitely some things going on with this kid. So yeah, sticks. I've got a whole bunch of sticks all over the ceiling here. Also, Eric, I am so sorry if you were listening. Anyone, again, I'm going to say this. If you're joining in, don't listen to the first 5 minutes of this because I forgot to plug the mic in. I'm sorry. But yeah, so the sticks. There's sticks everywhere. Like, they're hanging from the ceiling and shit. Like, this is like a key part to, if you want to get into the real spooky, like, I'm a crazy weirdo, I'm going to limp over here and grab some sticks. Y'all know what I mean. So, this kind of shit. The spooky shit. That good spooky. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Also, hey guys, check this out. Bam. You know how normally, like, when I'm like kind of walking over here, actually this is dumb. Actually, you know how when I'm like normally walking over here, like I have to like bump my head on those like little strings. I moved them. I fixed this. So now we won't ever be just having a wonderful moment together and then all of a sudden we have to wonder if God hates me because he's throwing lights at me. We don't have to worry about that anymore because I attached them, so they are not coming down. Only 2 though, just these 2. But also the strings are not here anymore. So look at that, we're looking fresh. But yeah, so here is the plan. What was I talking about? The sticks. All the sticks. There were sticks everywhere. They were all over the ceiling because I brought them in the house. Like I was presenting that as in it was a problem that I didn't create. There were sticks. There's sticks all over the house because I keep bringing them in. No, there were sticks. There's sticks all over. So I keep them behind the HVAC. Like I'll show you. So over here, that's where cuties and kitties are. It's going to be way more like spooky, creepy cave when my like spray booth is here. I keep looking up there because I want to make sure I'm looking at it right. I'm gonna look at right here. Anyhow, so yeah, God, I'm so fucking tired. Just want to go back to bed. Once I get the spray booth up, the spray booth is 4x8, so it will go right. Okay, I'm not gonna keep looking. It's gonna go right here. Okay. Okay, now you're kind of seeing the sticks. So the entire like pathway over here from like our stairs was sticks. Like it was just sticks. Like there were so many sticks, and Kelly would come down to get something out of the deep freeze or off like the pantry, and she'd just be like, ah, and like I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, babe, I'll move those, and it's just like I would come down and I'd be like, oh, I gotta go over there, and I'd be like, ah. It's just, so for like 4 days, like I had all of them. Why I showed you that, they were in this corner, so I keep them back there normally. I have them not hung up individually so I can look at them. They're normally like a big I mean like a stalactite. I mean really that's the closest thing. The closest thing is I store them kind of like a big dead stick stalactite or a column. Like the pretty much you just want to and by you, I'm saying this like there are other psychopaths out there that are going to start harvesting dead plants and just storing hundreds of them in their houses. So yeah, these are mums. All of these are mums, except that's a bonsai. Just to go over that a little bit more. One more time for anybody who is curious, these are mums. Mums are so good for making trees. Dead mums, specifically. So, like, if you go out and you buy a mum, which that's the thing with mums, they are a mounding kind of plant. And by mounding, I mean this. Like, I don't mean mounding in the correct way. I'm not using that word correctly. I'm very aware. I'm sorry. A mounding plant, typically, like here's the ground, a mound makes a small, they spread, they blanket, they carpet, mound, a little ball. When I was using the phrase mound or the term mound, I did not mean mound. Fibrous is almost the word, like broccoli. So imagine broccoli. When I go to get my hair cut and I'm like, what I don't fucking want to look like, broccoli. You got to cut that off the sides, baby. But yeah, mums, broccoli, really, 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 really good. So that is what we pretty much are looking for in a dead plant. I say mums are great. You might have a plant better suited than I do. Mums are the one that are the most available for me. And I would, depending on where you are, actually, man, I had to think about that for a second because, fuck, that's a weird realization of I am not like solely national. Like, I have no idea the kinds of plants that are going to be in Australia or Europe, or I don't think I have anyone in South America. But there are way more people in Australia that give a shit about me than I would think. That's a weird thing to think about. I'm going to grab this stick. This stick's just much better. So, I fucked it up. So these are wrapped up in pipe cleaners. And that is just solely to keep them organized for myself. So I wrap these bad boys up in pipe cleaners. This is a mum. Now this is a mum. This right here is a mum. So, pretty much you can kind of see where this, I kind of wanted to bring a couple of these so you could see, this is the actual, that's the base where this plant like started. These are just clippings. This was a very big mum. There's probably a more professional sounding name for a mum. M-U-M. I don't know. I don't know why they're named that. So, as those of you who have, oh, hey, look, there's a little root. This guy, he got stuck in there. That was not intentional. He's supposed to be stored elsewhere. But that is a very good little root. You put that somewhere, you're like, damn, look at that. Look at that guy go. But yeah, so pretty much the way that I store all these, this was just a tangent of just blah, 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 blah. I'm a yapper. I store all of them behind the HVAC. And I do that for a couple of reasons. One, that way, number one, this is the number one reason. The number one reason, pro tip, to store your spooky witch sticks behind the HVAC is so your wife does not get upset. That's the number one reason. And you can substitute wife with, what is today? Is today Tuesday? It is. My brain just broke. I just realized it's Tuesday. Have I not been streaming on Tuesdays? I don't think I have. I'm going to go make coffee, and I will be right back. Yeah, okay, sorry. My brain, yeah, that threw me off. I forgot. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Man, oh man, did you see how fast I got down? Short for chrysanthemum, apparently. Oh, that actually makes so much sense. Chrysanthemum. I feel like I knew that. I just needed to wake up. Yeah. Yeah, main thing that I was talking about was hiding sticks. You want to hide the sticks. And then also in the event that you have people come over to your house to like build a couch, having witchy sticks hanging from the ceiling to go along with all of your satanic monster babies that you've got on display, you know, just a short distance from the couch being built. Those are all key. Yeah, it's difficult to walk around when you've got a bunch of trees kind of like hanging from the ceiling. So I keep them kind of hanging up in a big cone hooked onto one another. So it just takes up one chunk of space behind the HVAC where nobody really needs to get to. That's where I keep the skeleton, which eventually will be used. Same thing with all of my really big components like foam. There's a stack of foam and other kinds of boards like cork boards, that kind of thing. Once I'm really excited about, but once I get the spray booth up here, there is actually, I had to cut the spray booth a couple of inches short. Like the frame, I cut the frame 5 inches short all the way around. So it is going to sit a little bit lower now, but that's fine because of where the lip was and the zipper. But now my spray booth will be there, and will be able to use this storage above it to slide all of my foam in there. So that won't be back there. It'll be stored up there. I'm really excited about that. Margot, I hear Margot screaming in the distance. The mums. Yeah, I'm excited about the mums. I'm excited. I need to figure out. I'm leaning towards these kinds of sticks being used for the trees. Specifically stuff like this. like breaking that right there, having it just go up. That looks very birch-like. This whole stick, I would not use this as a tree. Well, I might. I could. It all just depends. It all depends on where we want, how we want them to look. Size, scale, everything. We want it to be as organic as possible. When we're making our trees, we're making our little scenes, making our little settings. I think I'm probably going to end it here. 7:14, so it is a little bit earlier than normal. I forgot that. Let's see, 6:40. Yeah, that's like 35 minutes apparently. 35 minutes ish. I might stop the stream here just because I've got to kind of finish making coffee, and then tell Kelly bye and everything. I don't know what kind of pace that's going to put me into. I've been not streaming on Tuesdays, I don't think, because of coffee in the morning. Yeah, I'm still waking up as always, but I'm going to get things more clearly defined in my head and what I need to work on. Yesterday was mainly cleaning things out, getting my bay area where I like grab, this is what I'm working on next, getting it as organized as possible, trying to get that area cleaned up so we can start doing filming over there, move that cabinet. Having the dead foot, the bum foot, is really hampering things slightly, but I'm making it work. I'm not going to overdo it. Trying to think of where else to go from here. I talked about Necropolis a little bit yesterday. That's going to be the next board that I make for certain. Really pumped about that. I've also been really pumped about Cyborg. I love Cyberpunk. Thank you, Eric. Sorry that it has been very all over the place, and again, the first 5 minutes of this stream were just silence, me talking at the camera without having any idea that you all could not hear me. So I will not make that mistake again. But yeah, I'm going to go finish making coffee. I'm going to finish some stuff up, getting things organized. Today I'm going to be making more progress. I'm hoping to finish cutting out the little bricks today. That is really what I'm hoping to finish today. So, but with that, I will let you all get back to your day. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for just listening to me spasm all over my workshop for a little bit. I'm very excited to show you what we've got coming our way. No, thank you guys so much for the continued support and the attention and for your time. I appreciate it so much. Again, thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Sit pretty.